Afternoon peeps, good afternoon everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing very, very well. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget as well to like and share the vids. Also don't forget, give me a follow on Instagram. If you fancy it, Ade Oladipo is the Instagram handle. All right peeps, I am still in Nigeria. I'm due back to the UK on Sunday. I might come back a bit earlier just because I've got a couple of things I need to sort out. But I am now fully recharged. My batteries are recharged. I'm good to go. I needed to hit that pause button. We've paused enough. And I'm ready to go. I could literally come back tomorrow. Honestly, if I could change my ticket, I probably would come back tomorrow. But you know what? Let's enjoy a bit more sun and then we'll attack London when we need to attack London. All right, let's talk about the big man, Anthony Joshua. Eddie Hearn has said in a few recent interviews that he would like AJ to come back in December. Look, there are two options here, right? You come back in December, you get back on the horse immediately, straight away, or you take a long extended break and you literally shut the world off. Now, I probably would have done the latter, but I also understand the benefits of getting back on the horse immediately as well. I just hope, if he is going to come back straight away, I just hope it's with Robert Garcia. There's been a few sort of tweets put out there from Robert Garcia as well, which makes me think that there is no sort of long-term strategy or long-term plan here past the Usyk fight. I just hope that there is. I hope I've read that wrong, and I hope there is, because I like Robert Garcia as a person, and I think he's a really good trainer as well. But I also think it takes at least 3 or 4 fight camps to get in sync with your trainer. And the idea of sort of switching trainers every time something goes wrong, I don't want AJ to become that type of boxer. He was with Rob McCracken for so many years, and I think now you give Robert Garcia some time as well. So hopefully it's with Robert Garcia. Now look, before we even get into this video in a case of who AJ could fight next, personally, I don't think AJ is going to fight in December. I'd be very, very shocked. Just because the history books say that he doesn't fight, or at least fights in the last few years, once every 8 or 9 months. It's very rare to see AJ turn around so quick. But I guess he doesn't have the pressure now of being a world champion or fighting for a world title. Maybe that's alleviated a lot of the problems in making those fights. So maybe he could come back. Now, what Eddie did say as well, he didn't mention an opponent. He mentioned a few opponents for the fight after. I think Dillian Whyte was one of those, but he didn't mention a specific type of opponent. He did say, though, that the guy has to be a top 15 guy. And I guess that makes sense. AJ, regardless of the fact he's lost 3 of his last 5 fights, he's lost back-to-back fights, AJ is still a very, very big draw in the boxing world. There can't be Canelo. I don't know what Fury's numbers are, but there can't be more than 2 fighters in the world that draw like AJ does. In fact, I'd say only Canelo. I'd kind of put my hands up and say that. So for it to be a Canelo, for it to be sort of a big AJ pay-per-view event, which it has to be, right? DAZN have secured him to this big money deal. The opponent can't just be a Tom Schwartz. He's not, it just can't. As much as I would love AJ to do that, just to kind of say, well, one second, Fury, the lineal heavyweight champion of the world, can do it. Why can't I do it? I just don't think that's going to go down too well. So it doesn't leave too many opponents available. It doesn't, because you also got to look at opponents that have just recently fought, opponents that have got fights coming up. So for example, it's not going to be a Joe Joyce or a Joseph Parker. It won't be that. It won't be an Andy Ruiz. It won't be a Deontay Wilder, Helenius. So there aren't that many opponents. So let's just have a look. Sorry, we got a screaming baby next door. Hopefully you can't hear too much of that. In fact, there's no way you can't hear that. If you must be able to. Apologies. Let's have a look on BoxRec at potential names, right? Let's just tick them off straight away. Usyk, obviously not. Wilder, no. Ruiz, no. Fury, no. Dillian Whyte. Now I know that Eddie Hearn said Dillian Whyte next year. A Dillian Whyte fight almost makes sense. It really does. Both of them coming off defeats. It's an easy fight to make. O2 Arena. It will do big numbers. There's a history between the two. There's a respect there, but there's also a bit of hatred there as well. I know that's a strong word, but I do think there is a bit of that between those two. Easy fight to make as well, I think. Joseph Parker, no. Luis Ortiz coming off a loss, no. Chisora, no. Pulev, no. Joe Joyce, no. Michael Hunter. I'm pretty sure Michael Hunter's fight with Fury's been rescheduled, so that's a no. This is an interesting one. This. Martin Bakole coming off that really good win in France against Tony Yoka. Martin Bakole. Risky fight for AJ because Martin Bakole can punch, but AJ surely is on a level above that. But in terms of an opponent that the UK fight fans know, Martin Bakole, again, coming off a really good win against Tony Yoka. Frank Sanchez, too risky. No siree. Otto Volin. This is the name that everyone has mentioned recently. A lot of people have mentioned it for a couple of reasons. Number one, southpaw. And I don't know why even people think of that as something. It's not that AJ is going to fight Usyk anytime soon again, but A is a southpaw anyway. The main reason, obviously, is because he caused Tyson Fury some problems. That's it. But when he fought over here, the reason I feel like I don't want it to be is because I thought he was awful against Sokolowski. Just like the performance was bad. And I feel like he's dipped a bit because of it. This is an interesting one. Now, this would have been, a month ago, I'd have said far too risky. Now, not sure. Hrgović. Filip Hrgović. Now, I thought got given a gift against Zhilei Zhang. I thought Zhilei Zhang won that fight. I know everyone says he lost or threw away the last couple of rounds. He won that fight for me. Filip Hrgović is the big name, unbeaten. And it's a risky fight, but I think the rewards are big if you beat Hrgović as well. Because a lot of people have Hrgović as a top 10 heavyweight. So Hrgović is, I like Hrgović. I like that. So of the ones so far that I like Dillian Whyte. I don't know why we have to wait till next year. Honestly, I don't. I like Bakole, Otto Volin, Hrgović. Of all those, I would go Hrgović so far. Of all those. Helenius, no. Because he's fighting. Daniel Dubois, no. Gassiev had a fight a couple of weeks ago. Dangerous puncher. Very dangerous puncher. Obviously, look, former world champion at cruiserweight. The only defeat on his record is to Usyk, where he just got completely outboxed, but never really hurt, but outboxed. Mate, it's a risky one. What else we got here as potentials? Zhilei Zhang. I think they're going to try and make Chisora Zhang. I think they're going to go that route, so I'm going to say no to that. Charles Martin, you're moving too far down now for me, for Charles Martin. Anything else on here? Kabayel. Kabayel's interesting. What's Kabayel done recently? Unbeaten, former European champion. Beat Chisora, do you remember, guys, a few years back? What's he done, though, recently? Nothing is the answer. He fought Pavel Sawyer, who's 15-8. Before that, he fought Kevin Johnson, who's 35-17. This is the problem. AJ can't go that low. He can't go that low. Okay, a couple of more interesting names have popped up here. Efe Ajagba. Risky. AJ would beat Ajagba. Risky. But he's a name. People know who he is. Just one defeat on his resume. That was to Frank Sanchez. No shame in that. And then we've gone too far. Anything else, you're going too far. Those are the ones. It stops there. The only other one, the only other one out of that I've not mentioned that could easily make sense in terms of a pay-per-view element, might do better numbers than all of those guys I've just mentioned, apart from Dillian Whyte. Jarrell Big Baby Miller. I don't want Jarrell Miller to get an opportunity, but you guys know how that fight could sell, right? I mean, there's history and then there's history. Like AJ was supposed to fight this guy when he was unbeaten, then he got popped for everything. And if he isn't on all the stuff that he was on, AJ should destroy this guy. Should destroy him. Jarrell Miller can talk, he's brash, he's American, you know what they're like. Jarrell Miller. I think Eddie did say though, and look, obviously Eddie might contradict himself here, but I'm sure Eddie said in an interview that he wouldn't give Jarrell Miller an opportunity on a Matchroom DAZN platform again. So look, let's look at the potentials, right? In terms of who it could be. Filip Hrgović, Bakole, whichever ones did I say? Gassiev. These are all just potentials out there we're throwing out there. Who else did we say? Michael Hunter, but I think he's got the Hughie Fury fight. Dillian Whyte, Hrgović. There's a few others, but they don't. There's a few dangerous ones, but they don't fit the bill. They don't fit the bill for the perfect opponent he's looking for. Again, you are looking at someone that fight fans know. You're looking at someone, because AJ is a pay-per-view guy now that can move the needle, help him move the needle, but you're also not looking at a killer. You're not looking at a killer. And there's a couple of killers on here, yeah, that are unranked that I don't even want to see AJ in with yet. I really don't. All right, guys, anyway, should AJ fight next? December? Doubt it, but if he is going to come back, who would you like to see out of those names? Peace.